Lima, Peru. This crowded capital is home to 9 million people. I'd heard of an Australian woman who had been drawn into the dark side of this very dangerous city. A city that's fueled by the cocaine trade.
Right now, Peru is the #1 exporter of cocaine, and more importantly, a lot of the cocaine recreationally that comes into the United States, Europe, and now Australia is being directly attributed to the mountains of Peru.
4 years after the arrest of Schapelle Corby in Bali,
What do you have in your case?
on the other side of the world,
Do you have drugs?
another young Australian began her own life behind bars. Bronwyn K. Atherton was busted at an airport in Peru with a suitcase full of cocaine. Unlike Corby, Bronwyn's story has never been told.
Come with me.
The cartel that hired her betrayed her. Set up, locked up, inside this prison. We are her first visitors from home.
There's no way that she knew that she was involved in such a complex, organized crime mechanism. There's no way she could have known that.
Tracking international criminal syndicates, such as the one that recruited Bronwyn, is a specialty of Brad Barker's US-based Halo Corporation. Peru is now the center of the world's cocaine trade.
You can see coca grown as far as the eye can see.
And kilo for kilo, Australia is its most lucrative market.
You can get a kilo of cocaine in Los Angeles for about $16,000. In Sydney, that same kilo of cocaine can yield upwards of $240,000, $250,000. The plant that we're surrounded by is coca. This is how it grows indigenously here in Peru, and this is what all the fuss is about. It's staggering how much actual raw product is just growing. And they say money doesn't grow on trees. I've seen it. I beg to differ.
At the bottom of this ruthless and bloody business are the drug mules, human fodder for the drug lords. Foreign tourists, often enlisted. The cocaine hidden ingeniously in souvenirs, the lining of suitcases, and surfboards. And the story of one young traveller lured into this world is what brings us here to Lima's Santa Monica prison. On the street outside, hundreds of visitors line up. After lengthy negotiations, I've been granted access to meet the only Australian inside.
Okay.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming.
Bronwyn Atherton is 27. The years inside have rubbed away most of her accent.
This is the hospital area. This is the Catholic Church. And this is...
The prisoners are a mix of the naive and nervous, the hardened and dangerous. Built for 400, it's home to 1,000.
You've already had 4 years in here.
Almost. In a couple of months, I complete 4 years.
That's a long time.
Yes, it is a long time.
A long time away from Australia.
Yes.
Bronwyn was raised in the sleepy rural town of Cowra in central New South Wales. Her Peruvian lawyer believes what happened here, when Bronwyn was a child, is vital to any possible reduction in her sentence.
She says that you had a difficult childhood and it's important to your case. Tell me about it.
Wait a second. Shit, man, I don't know if I want to do this, man. I don't know if I want to talk about this on TV. You know, from respect for my family, you know.
Can I just accept that you suffered sexual abuse as a child?
Yeah, sure. I'm not saying that everyone that has bad things happen to them and are gonna end up in jail, but it's like, you know, yeah, I was on the path of destruction, yeah. Because I was messed up, because I was broken, and because I needed love.
Bronwyn left home when she was 16. A year later, she gave birth to a baby boy called Shemaiah.
He really was an angel. I breastfed him 2.5 years, and I woke up every morning to his beautiful smile and his shiny eyes.
3 years later, you had the most horrible thing happen that you can imagine.
Yes,
Your baby died.
yes.
While in the care of his father, Bronwyn's son suffered a constricted bowel and died suddenly.
I walked in, and it was like a dream, like it wasn't real. Like I walked into the room, like, and it was like he looked like a porcelain doll. Like I'm like, is this a joke? Like, is this a doll? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, this isn't even real. Like, how can this be real? Like, he's so beautiful. You know, how can this isn't even him? Like, what's going on? Like, it was not even real.
A few months later, Bronwyn was raped. 6 months after that, she was diagnosed with HIV. In a bid to escape her problems, Bronwyn left Australia, and in a cafe in Pretoria, the capital of South Africa, she was befriended by members of a Nigerian drug syndicate.
How do you make that decision to carry drugs for the first time?
I don't know, it was just madness. In under a year, you know, my son had died, you know, I got raped, and, you know, and then found out I had HIV, like, under a space of a year. Like, that's the most full-on stuff that can happen to you. Like, of course, I could easily make the worst decision of my life.
It's very easy to flip someone into being an asset. The bad guys are very, very good at this, usually targeting people who are in some way disenfranchised in some capacity. They're hungry for something that they're not getting, whether it be wanderlust or money, or they're in some type of desperate situation back home that they've got to handle in some capacity. And there's the opportunity, right? There's the door that is open.
Desperate and broke, Bronwyn walked through that door. In early 2008, she was flown from Africa to South America and introduced to a Colombian she grew to trust. She called him Uncle.
Out of all the people that I met, you know, he was the only person that really treated me like a daughter.
Bronwyn was being groomed.
She's being handled. And we as humans, we need affection. We need approval. We need attention. We need that. So they take that basic human desire, that thirst for approval and attention and affection, and they exploit it.
Uncle gave her money, somewhere to stay, treated her with affection and respect, and for months asked for nothing in return. Then, one day, Uncle asked her to meet 2 friends of his, Peruvian drug runners.
You can reduce this to the ridiculous and call it brainwashing, but what is going on here is very tactical, and it's very scientific, and it works. And these guys are experts at it.
This was the squeeze. She was asked to carry cocaine to France. It's October 17, 2008.
The deal is done. Bronwyn agrees to carry 9 kilos of cocaine from Peru to Paris.
She meets the drug traffickers at a cafe. They give her a business class plane ticket and put her in a taxi to the airport.
Hasta la vista, baby.
The suitcase filled with cocaine is in the boot.
As that taxi makes its way to the airport, she knows at heart that something's wrong. Every instinct tells her, don't do this.
God saying to me, don't take the bag. If you take the bag, you're gonna go to jail.
When Bronwyn arrives at the airport, the boot is open and she sees the suitcase for the first time. It's big and it's heavy.
I went to pick it up and I couldn't even pick up the weight. It was like 48 kilos the bag weighed.
She has no idea the drug syndicate has double-crossed her.
What do you have in your case? Do you have drugs? Come with me.
He's like, can you open the bag, please?
Do you have that combination?
I said, I don't know the code. This other guy, he come and like, just like, with this thing, like, stabbed the bag. I was like, oh my God.
In the suitcase are 2 backpacks filled with cocaine. 17 kilograms of the drug.
But the other contents of the suitcase tell the real story. The friendly Colombian drug trafficker and his sinister Peruvian friends had set her up to go to jail.
What do you have here?
The syndicate that betrayed her wanted her to be comfortable in prison.
What is this? Pants? T-shirts?
In her suitcase was a doona, a pillow, and warm clothes. Here's how it works. In return for bigger shipments of cocaine being let through, the syndicates tip off corrupt police who arrest the lowest level drug mules. Bronwyn stood to earn enough money to get a plane ticket home. Instead, she was jailed for 14 years.
You know what my charge is? It's not just drug trafficking. I'm charged with drug trafficking and multiple murder. It's like one step underneath terrorism. I had no idea, man.
You were charged with multiple murder.
That's what we are, all us drug traffickers are charged with. Yeah.
Oh, because drugs kill people?
Yeah.
Did you ever think about that?
No, I really never did, because you know what? Anytime anyone ever offered me a line of coke or something at a party, I just thought it was like, it's like a party drug.
Cocaine for years has been profiled as the drug of the uber elite, the drug of the rock stars, the drug of Hollywood, the drug of the affluent and the people who've made it. It's got a rather sexy, attractive allure. But in fact, it's a highly addictive substance. We have a term that we joke around about it, saying that cocaine is God's way of showing you that you make too much money.
At her trial, she refused to name the Colombian uncle who set her up, even though it may have meant a reduced sentence.
The man who sent you to jail, you regarded as a friend. A Colombian
yeah.
gangster you called uncle.
Well, I really believe that he did not set me up. I really, really, truly believe he did not set me up. Those Peruvian guys that I met one time, I felt something with
He
them.
was a trafficker.
No, he was not a traffica. He was
Then how did he
a
send you to
businessman, like he said.
yeah, well, how did he send you to a gang of traffickers?
No, well, he's a, you know, an organizer, a boss man. You
He
know.
sent you to a gang of traffickers?
Yeah, I know, but I was also a willing participant, you know.
Why didn't you name him to the cops?
For one, like I said, I really do not believe that he set me up.
They're not going to rat out the organized crime syndicate for fear of retribution, which was very clear at the onset. They'll threaten them. Maybe there's been some abuse already, and then the threat of abuse to families or loved ones or others.
He's such a friend that he never told you his name.
Oh, well, like, the thing is, look, I knew the risk that I was taking. It's not for me to dob anybody out. I mean, rats get killed. You know what I mean? There's been people that have ratted out people and they get shot the second they get their freedom.
In the seriously overcrowded prison, Bronwyn shares a tiny cell measuring 3 meters square with 3 other women. On one of our visits, there's a Mother's Day concert in the courtyard. Bronwyn is in the choir. Alongside her is her best friend Deirdre, a Canadian also jailed for cocaine smuggling. Bronwyn looks well enough and puts on a brave front. But the truth is, a 14-year jail term may be a death sentence because of difficulties getting medicine to treat her HIV.
I'm going to help her and get at least a reduction of the term.
Sunday night put Bronwyn in touch with Dr. Amelia Fishman, a highly regarded lawyer who's now appealing for clemency.
14 years is really too much for a sick person. She has to go back to her family, to her country, to be able to get medicines enough to survive.
What's your impression of Bronwyn?
I find out that she's a nice person, maybe not too smart. The smart ones are the real traffickers who know how to convince stupid people to be mules.
I want to talk about your mother.
Okay.
Your best friend Deirdre says, you need your mother.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's been a long time. It's been nearly 6 years since I've seen her. Yeah.
In what way do you need her?
Well, yeah, I mean, I just want to give her a big hug. You know, I just want to give her a big hug.
Bronwyn is paying the price, a heavy, heavy price, for mistakes she made when life seemed to turn against her. She's not blaming anyone but herself.
I suffer the consequences from my decisions. You know, I did this to me. It's not somebody else.
All people are in this case is a bag of money. They become a commodity. And killing someone is not the only way to take a life in this day and age. Even if she gets out today, she will never be the same. She'll never be the same.